All right, it is time for you to enter the group chat. We're going to answer some of your viewer questions. Let's start. Shadell W. from Lansing, Michigan writes this. Is it me, or did Trump just make everybody pay for his birthday party? Shadell remembers that a year ago, the president had a big old parade for his birthday, and we paid for it.
Good question. What's better, a conflict of interest presented by a private entity paying for something like this, or the taxpayers paying for something like this? Under any scenario, when you have a large gathering at the White House or near the White House like that, there's added security, more overtime, more people working for the federal government, like the Secret Service, dedicated to supporting the event. So one way or another, the taxpayer has to pay for a large portion of something like this.
But there's a really important thing in there. When the president even says, like, you know, early on in the ballroom, like, oh, it's not the American taxpayer, it's private donors, it's companies. Ain't nobody writing that check, certainly not a big company, out of the goodness of their heart. They're getting something out of it. And if they're the priority, not the American voter, that's the issue that we should be having.
Well, and that's why the ballroom is so problematic for Trump politically. It's become a metaphor. People say, oh, he cares more about the ballroom than he cares about me. And I think what's happening with Trump is that he realized, thanks to Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court justice, who publicly said, no, he's not running for a third term. He's not running for a third term.
Don't tell Steve Bannon.
Yeah, no,
he's making money off just that game plan. Yeah.
But so I think Trump realizes now that he's probably not going to be honored after he leaves. So he's got to be honored while he's still here and do all that he can to build the facades, everything to celebrate him, because probably, like we saw with the the center, his name's going to be torn off.
I want to stay with you,
Kennedy Center,
because the person who wrote us this question is from Aurora, Colorado, and I think it's so sad, where they said it seems like there's little interest in our 250th. The bicentennial was so big. Yep. Has Trump worn us out? Maybe it's not Trump. What is it?
That's a really good question. Thanks for my Colorado peeps.
Because I don't know that it's a Trump thing.
No, that's right. You know, I mean, it does feel like people are hardly even aware of it, it seems. And if they are, there's not much real celebration except for Donald Trump. And I think people are worn out, and they don't feel in a celebratory mood. About politics. They do about the Knicks. But
you do?
Yeah, I was 18 going on 19 in college. And it was a huge deal. There was a huge run-up to July 4.
Yeah,
I still have this image of Gerald Ford, who was president then, ringing the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. It was a huge deal. And I think you're right. I think what you said reflects a national mood. More people are tuned out, skeptical.
Oh, so that was you as an 18-year-old man. We had somebody who wrote to us, an 18-year-old from Massachusetts, Finn, says, why does Trump appeal to so many Gen Z alpha males? We saw this on full display at the fight last night. What is it? And I want both of you to answer.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I mean, first of all, I don't know that we should accept that like Trump appeals to, certainly, yes. Trump is courting this vote. But people, even inside the UFC, like I talked to an MMA journalist who's basically like, we're actually seeing a change where the young people who have been UFC fans, when Trump went down there while Vance was negotiating over Iran, he brought Rubio, his reception was different, right? I just think these are young people who are looking for something else, and Trump embraces these things that they're associated with. So he becomes an association for them, but I'm not sure it's going to stick.
I don't know. Maybe the UFC is far, but, you know, I've got a 20-year-old son. I have a 17-year-old son, and I watched sort of the Maniverse, bro-scape appeal to them because they were whether it's good or bad, they grew up in a you go girl world, and suddenly when Trump said, come on in, they liked it.
There's a strong argument that Gen Z elected Trump this last time around. You can do that math and it makes sense. And that demographic swung more than any demographic. What did he do? He said, I hear you. I see you. They'd been ignored. They felt like we're all about women's rights, all about abortion rights. So what about us? Nobody's
down with the patriarchy. And they're going, patriarchy, I'm 17.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a meathead, not a toxic
And they
male.
also like to just kind of screw the system thing that Trump does. You know, they like, I like a guy who's, breaks stuff. And, he didn't know he'd break everything.
But is that going to change? Because they may have liked this message, but the actual reality isn't making their lives better or stronger or more possible.
I believe, Mark can correct me if he thinks I'm wrong, I believe politics now is more cultural than it is a position on any particular political issue. And Trump has his finger on the pulse of a large segment of America that we're talking about right now. He resonates with them. He's peeled the lid off. And it's okay to be politically incorrect. It's okay to, want to go to wrestling matches. And that's a segment of our society that has been there that he speaks to out in the open.
Well, we got to figure out, Democrats at least need to figure out how to solve for some of this. All right, gang. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.